Welcome into the Real Estate Minute Show. So, I think you're tired of looking at this mug all the time every week. So, what I thought I would do is I teach a class on investing in properties, different properties, single family properties, all the way up to retail, shopping centers, and everything in between, but specifically single family and multifamily or residential properties. And I have a slideshow, and it's very simple. And I just want to click a few of these slides from the slideshow from this course that I teach. I do it at my office. I do it in front of groups. I do it in front of kids groups, adult groups, senior groups on how to invest. And I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to show you. And we're going to do this in 3 to 4 minutes. I thought it's important for you to understand the basic terms. Hang tight. I'm going to get to it one sec. Tired of looking at my face, and now we get to look at my slideshow. Isn't that exciting? Well, I'm going to be real brief. So this is just straight up the back end of my PowerPoint that I usually do, and I hate PowerPoints unless they're very simple. So I'm just going to flow through a few of these so you can understand. The point is just to pick up today a few things about investing in residential properties, meaning single-family homes, townhomes, all the way up to large apartment properties. Just the basic terms, the vocabulary, the terms of art, shall I say, okay? So there's different asset types, obviously. There's multifamily, shopping centers, all the way down to specialty, gas stations, all kinds of stuff. We're only talking about multifamily. Well, why do we talk about multifamily? Well, because it's really super to understand and the analysis is simple. It has terms that we're used to: pest control, waste management, meaning trash, water, sewer, gas, electric, gardener. Things that we know that we have experienced before in our, wherever we live, in our apartments, in our homes that we own. That's what makes it very simple, which is why we focus on that in this particular piece. Now, we do another course which is just totally much more complicated and deals with retail, triple net expenses, all kinds of things. But that's what this is about, okay? And there's a few terms that just kind of the basics of what we're talking about here. Yeah, you might know that you pull in income and that you have expenses, right? Easy. But what is all that called? What are the terms? So you kind of know when you're looking at something, or maybe a commercial broker or another broker like myself shows you a package for a property, you kind of understand what that property, what they're saying, right? So they're going to show you like a rent roll, which is going to have a list of all the tenants, or tenant, tells you what they're paying, okay? So that's the rental income. There's also other kinds of income, which we're not going to get to today, but it's storage income, parking income, other stuff that you can charge for, but just basic rent, okay? That's income. We subtract from rent expenses, right? Property tax, insurance, utilities, pest control, gardener, trash, if you have a resident manager, things like that, okay? Repairs and maintenance. And so all the income that you, or excuse me, all the expenses that you have, you subtract all that from the income, and that gives you a term, what normally people call cash flow. It's not, okay? It's actually called net operating income, or NOI. That's what I want you to know. That's why it's in yellow, baby. That's why it's in yellow. Net operating income, NOI. All that means is I have income minus expenses, and that's called net operating income. In the expenses, that does not include your loan payment if you have it. Okay, that's excluded from expenses. Net operating income is a result of income minus expenses. So then what do we do next? Well, I take that net operating income. If I have a loan, I subtract the loan payment from it right here. Then it's equal to cash flow. That's it. Now I have the free cash flow that I can distribute to my partners, reserve for other purposes, etc. But that's what that's for. So let me go back again. Income minus expense is called net operating income. It does not include your loan payments, okay, for the purpose of this analysis. For tax purposes, your accountant's probably going to tell you something different, but for analyzing a property and valuing it, it does not include your loan. That gives you net operating income, okay? And from that, you take your loan payment, if you have one, that's interest and principal payment, and that's your free cash flow, okay? So that's kind of where we, very, very simple, the difference between net operating income and cash flow. Those are big terms of art, and both of them are used for different purposes. So net operating income is very important because that's the main number, the main result that investors use to value multifamily property and other properties. It is the #1 valuation method, and I'm not going to get into why that is, but it is. Now here's an example, okay, that I could show you. So let's say we have gross income of $100,000. You remember? Income. Okay, we're right there. $100,000. We have a little vacancy allowance we put in there in case people leave, come and go. I always assume 5%, but that's not the point of this. which gives us $95,000 of income. Our expenses are $35,000, okay? Expenses. So here we go. Our result is $95,000 minus $35,000. Our net operating income is $60,000, okay? Done. Now, what if I have a loan payment? Well, let's say my loan payment is $45,000. I subtract that from the $60,000. Remember this? Net operating income minus my loan payment equals cash flow. So what are we going to get? We're going to get $15,000 of cash flow. Isn't that great? Forget about this. That's part of an analysis I was doing. That's just the basic terms again. And a lot of people just kind of miss the names, which is the only reason for this show today is just to explain that. Income minus expenses, net operating income. Net operating income minus your loan payment equals cash flow. That's it. Okay, that's all I want you to know today. We'll get into some more of the details of what expense types there are, how to value the properties, etc., and how those values impact kind of future value. We'll get into that at a later date. But I just wanted you to get this under your belt to start. All right? Thanks for tuning in today. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week on the show. Take care.